Hi, my name is Priscilla and I'm from Victoria, Australia, and I'm currently 17 years old. Recently I volunteered in Kenya through Cross-Continental Solutions, and I can honestly say it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. I spent 3 weeks working at an orphanage called the Child Discovery Centre in a town called Nakuru, where I worked with over 90 orphans, listening to their hardships and hearing about their Kenyan life. I can honestly say that I met some amazing people and some of the most inspiring people you can imagine. The children at the orphanage taught me to cook some local dishes. One of them was called kideri, which is basically just your beans, some corn and some leeks, onion type things. And I remember the first few times that I made it, I kept crying from the onions and all the smoke, and because I have open pit fires where there's just smoke everywhere, and I can remember all the kids were laughing at me, and every time they saw me they would pretend to start crying too. And that's probably one of my favourite memories from the orphanage. It was just incredible being there with the children, and the orphanage always involved me in their activities. Even if I had no idea what to do, they would always try and make me feel included. So I got to help them pick beans, and I got to help them plant beans, and I got to help them make food that I had no idea about, and it was just incredible. I learned so much about Kenyan life and Kenyan culture and about the project itself just by working with these kids. My host family was also really great. I stayed in this village in this little area called Danger, and basically it was a house in between all these huge mountains and these beautiful green trees and this river running through it all, and it was so incredibly picturesque and not quite what I expected. It actually exceeded my expectations. And my host mother, she was actually a teacher at a local school in this little village, and I decided one day to go and visit her and see the students. When I first arrived, the kids were all screaming and they ran up to me and they kept on rubbing my skin to see if I was white or whether I was just painted white, because they didn't believe that I was actually this colour. And when I got into the classrooms, a lot of the kids from other classes kept trying to get into the classroom that I was in, and I was also listening to them sing their English songs and also helping them with their English words. And then when I went outside, they were helping me learn Swahili songs, and they were also helping me learn some African games, and it was there was a bit of a language barrier, but luckily the host family that I was living with were able to help me and translate that for me, and so I learned a lot about Kenyan life as a kid and playing these games and interacting with these other kids. So the mother was a teacher at the local school, and my host father, he actually ran all these local charity projects throughout the community, which was quite inspiring. And they also had 3 kids. They had a son and 2 daughters, and I became so close to them. I actually felt like I was becoming a part of the family. They taught me to cook, they taught me to speak Swahili just a little bit. I really felt like I was at home in Kenya, and not once did I feel out of place, not once did I feel anxious or worried about any of my experience, and that's thanks to my host family and thanks to Cross-Continental Solutions. And I got so close to the family that I was so sad to leave, and I'm actually still in contact with them now. This was my first time overseas, it was my first time away from home, it was my first time in an environment where I had never been before. I couldn't speak the language when I first came, I didn't know what some of the foods were, but it ended up being the most incredible experience. I had these expectations of it, and every single one of them was exceeded, and every single expectation was met. And I'd really like to thank Cross-Continental Solutions for that, and I'd like to thank my host family and the kids at the orphanage and those involved in all the orphanage projects, because without them I wouldn't have been able to have this experience. And I really highly recommend Cross-Continental Solutions to anyone who wants to have an incredible and amazing time abroad in a volunteer situation. So they have volunteering abroad, interning programs, cultural and language immersion programs to help you with the country you'll be in. And you don't have to be in Africa, you can be on any continent you want, you can be in any country that they offer, and it's not necessarily orphanage work that you have to undertake. They offer lots of other programs as well if that's not for you. And I spent hours and hours, and I went through dozens upon dozens of organisations and programs until I finally decided on Cross-Continental Solutions. And I decided on them because they were so affordable, they were flexible, they were caring, and they answered every single question and filled every concern that I had. And the staff were always there listening to me and helping me, and they really tried to customise this program according to my needs, and they gave me a lot of personal attention and helpful advice, which I am so thankful for. And all in all, the experience that I had was an experience of a lifetime, and I strongly recommend it to others to take that step and to volunteer today, because there will be no regretting it, trust me.